Divided we fall. With the U.S. in disarray and people at each other's throats, worse than the 1960s and 70s, you don't need me to describe what's happening. And you don't need me to tell you what the arguments are. Here are some examples. Both sides can make a strong case about their half of the argument. Both sides are wrong about the other half. Here's what's been happening in connection with that. Each half has been given false information about the other. People getting their information by message are especially open to deception. The message sender knows their identity, religion, race, preferences, etc., etc. Their message details have been individually tailored. Don't believe that? See this link. Notice that name, and you can investigate what he's been doing. Unfortunately, decisions aren't always based on reality. Decisions are based on the perception of reality. When that perception doesn't match reality, you don't need me to finish that statement. So, here's a sure way to divide a country. Just do all these tricks. Suppose either side succeeds in forcing events to an extreme outcome. The result is civil war. Most of us don't want that. So we need to figure out how to step back before we reach a point of no return, because beyond that, it will be too late to recover. I'm not against blacks. I am against Hawk Newsom threatening to burn everything down. I'm not against police. I am against secret police. This isn't Nazi Germany or Russia, where beliefs can get you killed. At least not yet. But let's consider those two dangers. Hawk Newsom doesn't have the power to carry out his threat. He's been contradicted by many, including many blacks. Though more contradictions are needed, too much damage is being done. But secret police now have more power, and they're using it now. So, with outrages from both sides, I have to focus on the biggest worry. We now have secret police in the United States. Federal officers from Homeland Security and other agencies operate in Portland with no identification. They grab protesters off the street without reading them their rights. They shoot tear gas and flashbang grenades at protesters, including mothers who stood guard trying to stop the federal violence. Oregon's leaders have demanded that Trump and the DHS withdraw these forces. Trump has refused. Instead, he's preparing to send more federal troops to attack civilians in more cities across America. This is an emergency. Protests started out peaceful, but unprovoked usage of tear gas and batons in Lafayette Park changed that. See this Navy veteran's testimony to Congress. Here's the dilemma. That gave a golden opportunity to agitators who want to destroy America. Now protesters are angry, and some really are committing crimes. More protesters go along with the ringleaders now for other reasons. Separating the ringleaders from the rest is impossible. And here's some history. With very few exceptions, the U.S. has observed separation of federal troops from local police unless a request comes from local officials. When a president threatens to change that on a massive scale, watch out. Nazism. Adding to the plan for control, a recall initiated against Oregon Governor Kate Brown. That's similar to the effort directed against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer Nationwide are 8 recall or impeachment efforts against Democrats in office. This type of political activity, combined with brute force by secret police, is destabilizing enough. Now combine that with all these ingredients. Look at this list. All of this can erase a double-digit lead for the opposition candidate. If that isn't a formula for stealing an election, I don't know what is. Republican senators are the enablers here. They sat back and allowed this. They stand forever condemned if fading opportunities to act now continue to wither. Day by day, control is falling to militia groups and QAnon. If you've never heard of QAnon, please learn this. That's the real threat. It's from the right wing. Like the Nazis, it started small and just grew. Plus, it is dedicated and organized. I can't fit everything from Atlantic Monthly's June issue into this small space, but let me suggest this link. George Will, one of the most respected conservative voices in the U.S., wrote, "The nation's floundering government is now administered by a gangster regime." Let me add this to that. Our country is as close to civil war as it was in 1860. Both houses of Congress have a grave obligation. Stop the secret police and prevent this civil war, or abide forever in ignominious disgrace. What can any of us do? Well, first, don't get all your news from TV. Here's a long shot. A website offers disillusioned Republicans and non-Republicans opportunities to tell their reasons. There's a ton of those. Pence replacing Dr. Fauci. National Guard ordered to deny coronavirus data to Center for Disease Control. Supreme Court allowed a lower court to overrule voters' 2018 ballot initiative and block ballots from up to 1.4 million Floridians in the upcoming election. But the Supreme Court stops lower courts stepping in to protect voters' rights. Systematic destruction of institutions, alienation of America's allies, encouragement of dictators ruling other countries. Could this finally begin a tsunami of reaction we've been praying for? Here's the website.